Hi everyone. Right, on this tutorial I'm just going to show you how to make, and this is my prototype, which is, as you know, I always make prototypes. It's what I call my doodle journal or doodle book. Now this is really easy to make for anyone. I will go through it the best I can. I'm hoping that I can. Right, there you go. Right, basically I'm just going to give you the measurements and I'll show you how it's put together. I've not glued it at the moment, but I'm going to tell you what to do. You're going to need 4 sheets of A4 card in white or whatever colour you want for the inside. But because it's my doodle book, I will be doing watercolours, so I've used watercolour paper. And you also need 1 front cover, or the binder, the whole thing that will bind it. And something to, well, I'm using these little magnetic things to close the book up. Now what you need to do with your outside cover, you need to score it at 2 3/4 inches, 1/2 inch, 3 1/4 inches, and just check that, yeah, 2 3/4 inches, 1/2 inch, 3 1/4 inches, 1/2 inch, 2 1/2 inches. Okay, I'll just tell you that again. You score your paper or your front cover 2 3/4 inches, 1/2 inch, 2 1/4 inches, 1/2 inch. It's not 2 1/4, 3 Sorry, start again. Right, I'm looking at something at the same time I'm saying it. You need to score your outside cover at 2 3/4 inches, 1/2 inch, 3 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 2 1/2 inches. Okay, 2 3/4, 1/2, 3 1/4, 1/2, 2 1/2. When you've done that, do your folds, put your little fastener in, and then just cover it. I mean, this is just a mock-up. So cover it with your paper, turn the edges, you know, do your corner punches, whatever you want to do. And there you are, you're ready to go. Okay? But then we're going to do the inside. Now, the inside cover pages, should I say, are all the same apart from the back one. And what you need to do is you cut them all at 3 1/4. Let me just check that one because I did put the size on that one. Yeah, 3 1/4, 3 1/4, or 6 1/2 inches. It depends whether you're doing it like that. I mean, that goes up to 6 1/2 inches and then score it. This one goes to 3 1/4 inch and score it. And then this one goes to 9 3/4. So it's 3 1/4, 3 1/4, 3 1/4. Okay. And then on the end, you will need to do this one. You leave that end on. I've cut mine off. So my back page is 3 1/4, 3 1/4, 3 1/4. Leave that. But for the A4 size, as you can see, that's the back page, this one, and the other 2 that go with it. You've 4 pages in all. I've just left them long like that. And so when I scored it at 9 3/4, I didn't cut that section off. You only cut it off of 1 on the back page. Okay? And I'll tell you why. Once you've scored them, you need to put tape on the smallest flap. And you fold the first flap in, which is the smallest. Then you fold that up that way and the front forward like that. Okay, so you've got that. Tape on the smallest, then fold that like that. Fold that back and concertina it. That's what you do. And you do that with all of these sheets. So you've got 1, 2, 3 sheets, exactly, when are we? 3 sheets. Why haven't I got 3 sheets exactly the same? I folded mine a different way, silly hole. So you've got 3 sheets exactly the same, apart from your back one. On the back one, just on one of the panels, put your tape on, okay? And then what you do is you take your first sheet, take your tape off, I've left these panels pretty wide for safety, that's all, just to just so they work basically. And then what you're going to do is you jut these up against each other, so slot that in like that, okay? So you've made an extended page. Now the only other thing you've got to do, because of the measurements on the A4 width of your box, is cut off on all of the sheets, all 4 sheets, 1/4 of an inch. That's it, and it fits perfect. So right along the longest edge, the portrait side, is you cut off 1/4 of an inch. So you've got that. Here's your next bit, take that. And then jut those up against each other again. I just kind of like to make it quick and easy. Put them in, stand them up, because they're all the same width. And just fold it in, and it goes on really easy, like that. I don't worry about this at all, because I'm going to be doodling in it. That's what it's called. It's my Doodle Book. Right? So then, I have to make sure I get this one the right way around. Take my paper off. Now this is your back cover, so that has to fit onto the book. So then you can turn these the other way around. Jut them up against each other, and you've got that tape on the back. Peel that off. Like that. Take hold of your book cover, and depending on which way you want it to open, I want mine like that because I'm going to be doing mine that way. Mine's going to be a landscape one. So I can turn it around whenever I want, but it's going to be a landscape one for me to do my landscapes in. And then what you need to do, sorry, excuse me, is you kind of like fit that, but not to the edge, because you've got space to play with, because you cut 1/4 of an inch off. Like that, okay? So you fit that on like that, you fold that over, that goes over there, and there you go. Simple as that. You've got yourself a little doodle book. And, you know, they're great. Pop them in the car. When you're out, pop them in the pocket. I need to move that over a little bit, I think. Oopsie daisy, because this was a different page I used in mine. But there you go. Pop that in the car, in the door, and whenever you want to stop and, you know, do some sketching, write some notes or whatever, you've got a perfectly good doodle book. And it's great because you can fit loads on that side and loads on that side, and it's just a fab way to do a bit of doodling and record things while you're out. You know, you don't have to open it up like that. You can just open the pages like that, use it like a book, and then when you've had enough, you know, or you filled that side, you go to the back and then start that way. So 3 1/4, 1/2 an inch, 3 1/4, 1/2 an inch, and I've done it here 2 1/2 for my outside cover. And then your pages, of course, which I've just covered up, are all 3 1/4 for the back. Yeah. And the others, they're all 3 1/4, right the way across. Only you don't need the last panel. That little one. It leaves you from an A4 page a small panel, that bit. You don't need that, cut that off, because you're going to stick it straight onto the back. Like that. And there you go. Great way of recording. Taking out with you, fits in your bag. And you don't even have to use, you know, you could do a whole page. If you wanted to do something of that size, you've got it to do it. Excuse me. Or that side. You know, like that. You've got it to do it. You can use a whole page or just use it in sections like that. And I just think it's a great way for doodling. So it's now my doodle book. That will get lots of use. And this was my first one because I had to work it out. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. So that's just one I'll use for here when I'm thinking of things. I'll write them down, put them in there. But like I say, you can cover these however you want, put a ribbon around it, bind it, give it as a gift. and it's a doodle book. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye for now.